I mean, again, it was a pretty low threat environment for us after the war. With the stuff that we did over there for the most part. I mean, most of the guys that we lost are really good. I lost a really good one of my best friends in Iraq on a strafe pass. I don't know if you remember that, but Troy Gilbert, he was there was a special ops team that was following an HVT, and he pulled into a. This is how I understand how the story goes. Pulled into a. They were following him, and he pulled into a town, and so they had the predator stay over the top. And when he came out of town, they were going to grab him. And the helicopters landed in a field, and one of them had a hard landing, and so they had to go back and get another helicopter. And while the guys were on the ground, they started taking pretty heavy fire. And they were out in the open. So Troy and his two ship got rolled over to support those guys. Pretty sure his wingman dropped a GBU-12 on a building that they were starting to take mortar fire from, and which is a laser guided bomb. And then Troy, they had technical vehicles, and what they were doing was they were running in, taking shots, and then blending back in with civilian population and kind of running a daisy chain. So Troy had seen one of the vehicles, did a strafe pass, missed it, swung back around, did a second strafe pass, and actually he hit the ground in his recovery. And so which took all the heat off the Delta guys, because now all the insurgents were running over towards the crashed airplane, and it was really bad, man. They took his body. They had it. He didn't come back from Iraq for like 12 years before they finally got the rest of him back. When we buried him in Arlington the first time, it was just some scalp and I think a little bit of brain matter that they had found on the HUD, the heads up display, to verify that by DNA that it was him. And then a couple years later, they recovered some bones from his feet, and then they had kept him as a trophy, basically.
I've never heard this before. What
Yeah.
year did this happen in?
I think it was let me think. Let me think about this. It was '07, November 27th, 2007, I believe, was when
And
it happened.
and then so you said we didn't get his remain. The United States didn't get his remains back for 12 years. How
I think it was
did
12 years.
they
Yeah.
eventually go about getting it back?
I don't know, man. The operators, I got to meet some of the guys that were on the ground that day. And they were they obviously felt, a big desire to find him. And I know they had been trying for a very long time to do it. And I'm not sure what pieces finally came together for them to do that. But, I'm sure as they broke the networks down and stuff like that, and, oh, this guy's got this or this guy's got that, they eventually caught up with the guys that had him. So,
That makes me so angry that
yeah,
these people would
I
carry
know, right?
a guy's body like that. I mean, war, people get killed, innocent people are
Yeah.
going to die. That's just what happens in war. Keeping someone's body, not to go back to Black Hawk Down, they drag those bodies through the street too. And
Yep.
it's just the most disgusting. It's not even animalistic. It's just downright evil to do something like that.
It is. Well, and I think that that's what a large amount of, we're pretty sheltered here in the United States. And you don't really, you've, it gives you a good idea of what the mindset of those people actually is, right? Like, I mean, it's pure. So some of those people are pure evil, man. And what people don't recognize, I think sometimes, is that evil to that level really exists in the world. And we're pretty sheltered here back in the States. And they don't realize why guys like, the spec ops dudes and the tier one guys that you talk to are required, and the shit that those dudes have to go through, to do what they do for their country to keep all of us safe back here.
I could not agree. You are 1000% correct with that assessment. There's no question about that at all. I am so happy you just shared that story because I had never heard that. And if we keep sharing stories like that, that keeps the memories of everyone who was lost. When this interview is over, I'm definitely going to read as much as I can about that. That's mind boggling to me. On that point,